Storms with a high at 86. That 60% chance sticks around for tonight with a low at 70. A 90% chance for showers and storms Thursday with a high at 83. Rain and thunderstorms possible all the way through at least Saturday. With news on 103.9 WYAB, I'm Chris Davis. Exactly why a military plane that originated the base in Meridian crashed along Highway 45 Tuesday afternoon remains under investigation. That crash happened about 12:30 p.m. near Sugar Lock, which is on the border of Noxubee and Kemper counties. According to a release from Air Wing 1 in Meridian, both pilots were able to eject before the plane crashed, and both were taken to the hospital. A repeat violent offender who had a gun on him during several drug transactions last year is going to prison for 64 years. The judge threw the book at 44-year-old Gaddafi Manning of Canton after the Madison County Sheriff's Office had a confidential informant wear a wire and get video of several drug transactions with Manning. The man killed in a fatal crash on Highway 6 in Monroe County Sunday morning has been ID'd as 25-year-old Andrew Pettigo of Baldwin. The Highway Patrol says at about 9 Sunday morning, his car for some reason left the road and hit a tree. Pettigo died at the scene. And that was the only fatal crash being reported by the Highway Patrol over the Memorial Day weekend and their holiday enforcement period, which ended Monday night. They say state troopers wrote nearly 5,000 tickets, arrested 74 people on charges of drunk or high driving, and investigated 190 crashes in all. More news in 1 hour on 103.9 WYAB. I'm Chris Davis.
Have you ever listened to WYAB and thought, I could do that? Well, maybe you can. 103.9 WYAB, Central Mississippi's stimulating talk radio station, is looking for fresh local voices to join our on-air lineup. Are you the person everybody argues politics with at work? Friends say should have a radio show? Then maybe it's time to stop yelling at the dashboard and start talking into a microphone. If you're passionate about current events, politics, faith, business, sports, or just telling it like it is, we want to hear from you. Previous radio experience is helpful, but personality, authenticity, and the ability to connect with listeners matter even more. This is your chance to be heard across all of Central Mississippi. If you think you've got what it takes to host a talk show on WYAB, send us a short audio sample and tell us about yourself. Email Matt at WYAB.com. That's Matt at WYAB.com today.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are the individual views and opinions of the people expressing them and do not necessarily reflect those of this radio station, its parent, affiliated, or related entities, agents, or employees.
If it feels like the world's gone a little crazy lately, you're not wrong. They say parents should have a voice. But what happens when no one's listening? Forget the noise, the narratives, and the nonsense. It's time to have real conversations, stand up, speak out, and shine a light on what's really happening inside our schools, our systems, and our government, and what it really means for your family. This is the Lindsey Beckham Show, where we believe in truth over talking points, facts over feelings, and the courage to say what others won't. Because when it comes to our kids, silence is not an option. Only in America.
Welcome into the Lindsey Beckham Show. We are live here in the WYAB studios, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and X. This is where parenting and politics collide, where we believe in protecting children, empowering parents, and standing for truth always. So I was able to guest host at the 9 o'clock hour for Mike Madison this morning, and I told you all about this incredibly courageous and brave young woman, Ella Frei. Am I saying that right, Ella? Is it Frei?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And so she is joining me, and I want you all to hear her story, because as much as we like to say, hey, that can't happen here, we're in Mississippi, we live in the Bible Belt, I promise you, if it's happening somewhere across the country, it's headed our way. That's why we worked on the SAFER Act to protect our girls' safe and private spaces. And Ella's going to tell you how this affected her life. We're also joined by Scarlett Johnson, my dear friend who works with me at Moms for Liberty. They both live in the great state of Wisconsin, and they have been fighting hard there for parental rights and for children, for the innocence of children, and for girls' spaces, girls' sports, all of these things that have been attacked recently over the past couple of years, especially under the Biden administration. But guess what? There are those of us that fight back. So, Ella, I'm so glad you could be here with us.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So, I just got to tell you, I am incredibly impressed. I watched you speak at your school board meeting, and I know how nerve-wracking that could be, but you handled yourself with such grace and class, and courage begots courage. And so when people see you stand up and speak out and use your voice, it inspires others to be as courageous as you are, to be able to do that same exact thing. So I know so many young girls across the country who very much appreciate you having the bravery and the courage to do that.
Thank you. I was really nervous for everything, especially because I'm not really used to public speaking. And the school board meeting was huge, packed. A lot of parents that didn't agree with like what I was saying, and a lot of parents that agree with what I was saying. So it was just kind of a new experience for me as well.
Tell us, how old are you, Ella?
I just turned 17 in April. So
you were 16 when all of this kind of started. And tell us, what made you feel led to speak out? What was going on within your school that was upsetting to you?
Well, first of all, I don't think anyone else was wanting to speak. I had a lot of friends sitting with me in the front row, and none of them wanted to speak. And I was kind of led by like others being the one to do it for everyone else, as well as there's nothing really to lose here. I'm a student. All these teachers are speaking. Other students are speaking. I don't think there's very many students on like my side that did speak because they're so scared of everyone else and everyone else's opinion. But I think that what led me to do it the most was that I don't want this to continue happening for the younger girls that come into the school or anyone else that's going to be affected by it. So I wanted it to stop now before it gets even worse and goes into the sports and continues in the locker rooms and stuff like that.
So what was happening?
I want to jump in real fast.
Yeah, go ahead, Scarlett. Go ahead.
Because she's downplaying. So I'm good. So I want everyone to understand how brave it was for her to come forward. There were a lot of girls initially that made the complaints that said there is a boy that is in our bathrooms. So this boy, who is a junior and 17 years old, had suddenly started to use the girls' bathrooms. And at first it was just the upper grades, junior, senior, but eventually he was also hanging out even in the freshman bathrooms, which are in a whole nother part of the high school, and really intimidating those girls who were afraid to even use the bathroom. Like Ella, they stopped using the bathroom altogether. They didn't want to encounter this boy in the bathroom. So a lot of girls came forward and told the story. A lot of parents came forward, but at the end of the day, only a few had the courage to come and speak at the school board meeting. And I commend all of them, but Ella was called on first. So in this auditorium with over probably 400 people in her community, so people that she knows, other kids in the high school that were opposed, like a very small group that were opposed, a large group that supported her, she had to be the first to go and speak. And so all of the school board, they're on a dais high. And so she has to come forward and speak in front of everybody, looking up at the school board and basically complaining, saying, you guys messed up here. And that takes a lot of courage for a 16-year-old girl. Everyone, imagine, it takes courage for parents. It's hard, Lindsey, you know this. It's hard to get parents to come speak. But for this 16-year-old girl to come and do this and to speak on behalf of the hundreds of girls that were displaced, the hundreds of girls that were told, here's a map to the bathroom you can use. She came out and spoke. And not only that, she continued to speak. So I just want to elevate Ella, because she will downplay her role, but what she did is just totally heroic.
Absolutely. And, it worked. It got the attention of the White House. Ella, I have a friend of mine who lives here in Madison County, Mississippi, who sent me your video having no idea that you had a connection to Moms for Liberty or that we had talked to you, anything along those lines, but was so impressed with you and thought that I would want to see your speech. And so you are reaching people all over this country and the ear of the White House. Scarlett, I think you were actually live when we got word that the department, I saw you and your face just went, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, we just got the news that the Department of Education and the White House has launched an investigation because they are not following the executive order that has been put into effect by the Trump administration. Even though they say they're following policy and their state guidelines, that's just not true. They weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing. So now this official investigation has been launched, and Ella, that's largely in part due to you using your voice. What does that feel like?
I don't even know how to explain it. I feel like it doesn't feel real at all. None of it's felt real. None of going on the news, all the podcasts and stuff, meeting all these people. It's just a blessing.
Well, she went viral. Okay, so her video that we posted of her speaking, her school board speech, it
It was
went
so good.
totally viral. Picked up by Libs of TikTok, picked up by Gunther Uhlmann, all the big accounts on X, commented on by Elon Musk. So she just went viral, as well as did some parents who were speaking up. And but look, she is a young, pretty, brave girl, and it clicked. She was her honest testimony, her sincerely asking, please stand in the gap. Please do your job. Please protect me and all the other kids, especially the young girls, the freshmen that are afraid. This isn't fair. This isn't right. We're not hateful. We just want our privacy. And the way that she worded it, and I want her to say it, the way she talks about what a bathroom is for a teenage girl and how she felt violated, I think she can articulate that better than I can.
Yes, absolutely. Go ahead, Ella.
Yeah. So, well, when it first started happening, it was kind of just like a moment of uncomfortable and kind of like insulted because like this is our one spot in like the school that we are able to go in, feel safe, do what we need to do, talk to our friends, get ready. And it was our one safe space and it got intruded by the opposite gender, obviously, when they have their own spaces. And some will say that, well, it's so much more welcoming in here than it is in the male restroom. Well, it also, like, we have our single stall restrooms that I got pushed to, and all the other girls that felt uncomfortable because they thought that if this one male student feels more welcome and safe in your bathroom, then you guys, your option is you can go to the single stall restroom so you can feel safe there. But it was already like our restroom to begin with. So that's where like a little bit of anger started feeling up me because I'm like, we were here to begin with. Why are we not pushing the like one or two students that needed private space to the private restrooms? And that was kind of like the biggest problem that I had right away. Because it just felt really unfair and it felt like I wasn't being heard and that the females in my school didn't matter and that we were kind of just treated like badly. I don't know, like to the side. But yeah, that was kind of how I felt right off the bat. And I think a lot of students also felt the same way, but are
Yeah.
also just a little too scared to speak up about it.
I mean, Lindsay, imagine you are 14 years old and you're in the bathroom. You're going to use the bathroom, powder your nose,
Mhm.
wash your hands, just get a break. And you walk out of the stall and there's a man. You walk out and you see a boy. It's terrifying.
Right.
And I think as adults, even though it would be, I would be like, what's happening? But for a 14-year-old, 15-year-old, 16-year-old girl, it's can be terrifying. Like this, you don't belong here. And just a whole, they feel violated. And
Mhm.
I consider this can be assault, especially when this boy chased one girl out of the bathroom, allegedly. And I think that we have to put ourselves in the shoes of these young girls and imagine how they feel. And instead, this school district said to Ella, your feelings don't matter. Don't you just want to be kind? Why don't you just go along? Or go use this single stall. And Ella, you can explain how far of a distance it is to go to these single stall bathrooms, and that you have to ask permission. You have to get a key. They said, we know you're going to miss class and you're going to be tardy, so we'll give you a tardy slip. So basically, this is going to hurt their education. They're going to miss class. It's embarrassing. They're the ones singled out. They're the ones that have to, they're put under the pressure and the strain of going to find a single stall bathroom. And the fact that Ella was willing to speak out about this made all the difference in this Title IX investigation. The White House, President Trump, the Office of Civil Rights was able to get involved because we had someone who was harmed. Her and several girls came forward, parents came forward, and they said, our daughter was harmed. And the fact that they were willing to do that and put a face to this horrendous, this unfair, unjust policy that is all over the country. It's all over the country, in red states, in red counties, everywhere. It's everywhere. So we need this to be addressed, and we need to take care of it.
Absolutely. And Ella, I've listened to several of your interviews. One way you described it being unfair was you felt as though like the womanhood was being attacked. And I related so much to that because it is this safe place where we go with our girlfriends, or if we're sad and we need to cry and we don't want the world to see us shed a tear, or if we need to touch up our makeup or our hair, put our lip gloss on, and not to mention, of course, girls have bathroom privacy issues that we need more privacy than men. There's just things that happen with a girl's body that just needs more privacy. So
girls menstruate, not men, not boys.
Exactly. I mean, I don't care if they have tampons or not. It's not going to cause them to become a woman either way. So, I think it's disgusting that someone would say, don't you just want to be kind? Because in my opinion, the kind thing to do is say, hey, we're living in an alternate reality here, and somebody needs to share the truth. Sharing the truth, to me, is more kind than affirming a lie. So I commend you 1,000,000%. I respect you and think so highly of you for just being that courageous and brave and able to step out and use your voice, even though it was so scary. I can't imagine the nerves that you must have felt standing in front of that group of adults who were on the school board who were allowing this to happen in the first place. So I commend you. We got to take a break, but y'all stay with us because they're going to stay on for the next segment. And I want to hear more from Ella and what's happening now. I know WIL, which is the Wisconsin Institute of Liberty and Justice. Is that right? Did I get that right?
Oh, Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty.
Law and Liberty. I should have known should have been two L's. But they have taken on this case, and they are helping Ella fight for justice and liberty right there in her hometown. So y'all stay with us. We're going to be right back here. WIAB 103.9, The Lindsey Beckham Show. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere.
103.9 WIAB.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Hot weather requires us to run the AC non-stop. Pure Air Consultants can inspect your unit today to ensure your AC is operating well. Pure Air Consultants is your go-to Rheem partner that can get the job done and have you resting in comfort in no time. Locally owned and operated, they have proudly served our community for over 22 years. Contact Pure Air Consultants today at mypureairconsultants.com. Rheem and Pure Air Consultants to the rescue.
Your roof is constantly exposed to the elements, battling dirt, algae, and stains. But with Watkins Construction and Roofing Roof Wash Service, you can keep it looking like new. A proprietary rooficide treatment is EPA approved, safe, and guaranteed to prevent algae from coming back for at least 2 years. No harsh chemicals, no damage, no black streaks. Just a clean, beautiful roof that lasts. Call Watkins Construction and Roofing at 601-966-8233 or visit nomoreroofstains.com today.
Looking for farm fresh produce, high quality local beef, dairy, and desserts? Look no further than the farm store in Flora. We've got the
Well, I'm going to sex schools for the same event that that girl in like
Two Dog
Texas, that
Farm, plus premium beef, all from right here in the community. Whether you're cooking
yeah,
up
even the best
just
long jumper.
a snack, the farm store has got you covered. Freshness you can taste, prices you'll love. Find us on Facebook at The Farm Store by Two Dog Farm.
Have a large fleet of vehicles? Looking for somewhere to provide routine maintenance? Tired of waiting on an appointment? Ken here with Rapid Oil Change. We accept most local and national fleets as well as 30-day in-house accounts with no appointment needed. We offer maintenance packages to fit any need. Oil changes, wipers, tires, car washes, and more. Have a diesel? No sweat. We carry diesel exhaust fluid and diesel fuel filter. With over 40 years of experience, Rapid Oil is the right choice for your fleet. Stop in today and let us keep your fleet ready and on the road.
Delta Farm Services, LLC. Delta Farm Services, LLC. From dirt to done, they make it easy. Find them on Facebook, it's all you need. Jobs, more, all the days, they'll shape your land a better way. Delta Farm Services, LLC. The name you trust for what you need. Delta Farm Services, LLC. Delta Farm Services, LLC.
Fans, comics, cards, and games is your local sports and memorabilia store. Plus Pokemon, board games, comics, and more. Get in the game, make it, and Advanced Comics, Cards, and Games. Fair Orchard Road, Richmond, and AdvancedG.com. Better ingredients, better with a better website. PapaJohns.com. For the best experience. Save more with Papa Rewards and all the best deals. Order today. And enjoy specials and Papa's pairings at PapaJohns.com. Locations throughout the country.
Only in America, dreaming red.
Welcome back into the Lindsey Beckham Show. We are live here in the WYAB studio, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and X. We are joined by my good friend Scarlett Johnson from Wisconsin, and also Ella Frei, also from Wisconsin. She is a junior who has really spoken out and used her voice to make a positive change within her school district and her community. Scarlett, you look like you're somewhere important. Where are you?
I'm in front of the White House right now.
I see.
You can see.
It feels
I'm
so good to have a
Pebble
seat
Beach.
at the
This
table.
is what's called Pebble Beach
Beach.
when you're reporting. Yep.
Awesome. Well, it's so nice to have a seat at the table with this administration and to be able to have girls like Ella speak out, use their voice, and the Trump administration and the White House, the Department of Education actually listen and investigate what they are hearing from young women just like Ella. So we are so grateful for you to have the courage and the bravery to speak up, Ella. So in your school, you were told you could use a single stall restroom if you didn't feel comfortable using the women's restroom alongside boys, correct? And the restrooms were all the way downstairs across campus.
Yeah.
So you were missing class time, instruction time, learning time in order just to be able to use the bathroom, and we're holding it and just it just seems crazy. It just
Tell
really
her about the maps. Tell her about the maps, Ella.
Yeah, so shortly after the school board meeting, when we recommended like a single stall restroom, they hung up maps on the office doors, like the nurse doors, like around the school, showing like where you can go to the single stall restrooms if you feel uncomfortable. And for me, I was like, I didn't even know we had some of these single stall restrooms. Like, and some of them were actually like, I don't think they were for us. They're in like the teacher's lounge. So I think they were just trying to figure out a way to make, I don't know, us feel included or something. But the single stall restrooms were all the way in the front of the school, and the learning is all the way on the back of the school and upstairs, downstairs. So it was like I would go to the bathroom at home, go to school, and then hold it in until lunchtime so that I'm not missing any class or anything. And then I would go to the restrooms. And then sometimes if it was really bad, then I would have to get it passed. But it's all the way across the school. So it's like you're missing a good chunk of class. And especially towards like the last semester of school, it's like finals, it's like the hardest. I'm in my junior year, like it's rough. And I was missing like the most important times where I'm trying to can take all this information in for these big finals coming up, but it's not very easy when I have to go to the bathroom and I don't want to because it's all the way across the school and I don't want to risk seeing a male in my private space.
And not only that, but when it's in the teacher's lounge, then you worry about are the teachers now looking at you differently and judging you because you're not going to use the bathroom in a bathroom with boys.
Yeah.
And
So
I can answer that for you, Lindsay, because yeah, she has faced retaliation because there are Facebook groups, these anti-Moms for Liberty Facebook groups that are posting where there are school staff, paid school staff members posting about Ella and in derogatory terms, talking about her mother in derogatory terms. And so imagine she has to go to school looking around, looking over her shoulder, wondering, are they talking about behind my back? Is my grade getting affected? But despite all that she is willing, and her family, her mom, her dad, even her grandparents came to hear her speak at the school board meeting. They are all standing beside her, behind her, and encouraging her to keep fighting. But how ridiculous is it when these adults are behaving worse than like mean girls? They are woke mean girls.
Yeah, and there's just no excuse for that whatsoever, in my opinion. I heard your mom say to you in one of the interviews that you guys did, and she said, I told Ella, if this gets to be too much, you just tell me. I will pull the plug on this so fast. But Ella, you said, no, I can't. I have to do this because there are girls coming behind me, and I want to make sure that they have a safe place and they're protected. That is so mature. I can't thank you enough for using your voice to speak out in this way. How does it feel to have such a family that supports you and backs you this way?
I don't think I would be able to do it without them. And that with everything, especially like the news and like all the podcasts and stuff, there's like way more hate than one would expect. And I'm also just a girl at the end of the day. So it gets to be a little bit much and the hate comments get to be overwhelming. But with like all my family, with all the love and support from like just random people coming up to me at track meets, like, hey, you're doing great, keep it up. Like, that's just what keeps me going.
I love that. And you were 16 years old, a junior. My daughter is also a 16-year-old junior. She just finished her junior year. So I know how hard junior year is. That's the hardest year of high school. And you really are trying to take everything in. And it does affect you when you are missing that instructional time, that class time. So what exactly is going on now with the Wisconsin Institute of Law and Liberty? How did they come on board? How did they get involved? And what is their role in all of this?
So I'll talk about that. The Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty got involved early on. They were very helpful when this issue arose and they saw what was happening, and we placed calls to them and parents placed calls, what can we do? They actually wrote a model bathroom policy, and it's on their website. If you go to the Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty, it's will.org, WILL. That model policy is available for anyone in any state to look at and to use. It's applicable in every state. You might need to make some slight modifications based on your state statute, but they made this model policy steeped in Wisconsin statute. Lawyers, very talented lawyers that have argued before the Supreme Court, wrote up a model policy that was in compliance with Wisconsin state statute and federal law, and said, here, this is the solution to the problem that you have. And instead of embracing that and adopting it, they instead rejected it. There was only one school board member that voted in favor of it, and the rest, they voted against it. And, they had to pay a price for that because the Moms for Liberty endorsed candidate that was on the ballot. Not only did she win running on this issue, she was first. She garnered the most vote, ousting the school board president, who was the thorn in the side and the guy that was really pushing this policy, a guy from Minnesota. So he wanted to bring the tampons into our bathrooms too. Yep.
Keep that Minnesota mess out of Wisconsin, right?
Yep. And And Ella and her family, Ella actually went, and she's like, I can't vote, but you need to vote for school board members that will protect us girls. She was out at parades, handing out pamphlets. She was like encouraging adults to go vote, encouraging her family to go vote. So
Making
she
signs.
just,
I've seen her covered
yes,
under just signs
she
everywhere.
led a walkout. She led a walkout. So she's done. She's shy. So I'm gonna boast like surrogate mama that she's an amazing, strong woman. And it's been a honor to watch her just flourish despite all of the hardships that she's just overcome, and she's better for it. She's Wisconsin's Riley Gaines.
Have you met Riley Gaines, Ella? Have you gotten a chance to talk with her?
No, I haven't met her yet, but it would be crazy if I did.
So of course, Riley Gaines was kind of the original woman in sports who came out and said, we don't want men in our locker rooms. We don't want men in our private and our safe places. I have a daughter who's named Riley as well. So I actually pulled her out of school one day when Riley Gaines was here in Mississippi. And so she got to miss schools to go and meet Riley Gaines and talk with Riley, because I feel like that those are the role models our young girls need in their lives. Those are the people who could really be looked up to. And Ella, you are one of those as well, my dear. You have become quite the role model yourself. So you should be so incredibly proud. I talked with your mom through text, and I know she is so very proud of you. And I love hearing that this is making a difference even within the school board and the school district. Parents and community members are waking up and saying, hey, we've got to get some more conservative school board members here who are making these policies for our children.
Yes. And I want to add one more thing. Will filed a federal lawsuit, a private action under a parent group formed, New Richmond parent group formed, and they all signed on. So there's a case that is going in Wisconsin. A federal lawsuit has been filed. So not only did the parents and community of New Richmond stand up, go to school board meetings, make their voice heard, they supported their girls, they filed Title IX complaints, they just did so much work in their community for awareness. And because of their hard work, the Trump administration came in, the Office of Civil Rights, and the first Wisconsin Title IX investigation was launched about this bathroom policy. Then they worked really hard for a school board candidates race where one and two write-ins nearly won. Then they weren't done. Then they filed a federal lawsuit against the school district. So if you want to know how you win, you keep fighting. You never stop fighting. Yeah. You never say, okay, we've done enough. No, you keep going. And you keep going until this policy is gone and until girls are protected and until biological reality is restored in K through 12 schools.
And because of all the work that you and Ella, your family and your friends have done, and with Wisconsin Institute of Law and Liberty has done, I bet that makes it a lot easier for the White House with their investigation, because so much of the work has already been done by you guys. It doesn't take the White House to investigate when something's wrong here. Just let a mama in on it, and we'll find.
No kidding. We'll be your investigative team.
Absolutely, we will, for sure. Well, we got to take another break. Can y'all stay with us for one more segment?
Sure.
Great. All right. Well, y'all hang on. Y'all don't go anywhere. There's lots more to talk about. I want to hear from Ella and Scarlett what they think is going to happen within this school district in the future, what they think this would mean with the Trump administration coming in to investigate, and what this investigation may lead to. Y'all stay right here. WIB 1039, The Lindsey Beckham Show. We will be right back. The Lindsey Beckham Show. We will be right back. All in America.
1039 WYAB.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit AmericansForProsperity.org. Be a part of positive change at AmericansForProsperity.org. Org, paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Hot weather requires us to run the AC non-stop. Pure Air Consultants can inspect your unit today to ensure your AC is operating at perform. Pure Air Consultants is your go-to ring partner that can get the job done and have you rest in comfort. Locally owned and operated, they have proudly served our community for over 22 years. Contact Pure Air Consultants today at mypureairconsultants.com. Bring in Pure Air Consultants to the rep.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. At a cabinet meeting, President Trump expressing optimism that the U.S. and Iran can make a deal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. But Iran has signaled it has no plans of giving up its nuclear ambitions. ABC's Ian Panel is in Israel and has more on the sticking point.
Discussions that are ongoing right now is basically to try and lift the siege of the Strait of Hormuz, the restrictions put in place by Iran, and to allow the U.S. naval blockade to be withdrawn. What it doesn't resolve are outstanding issues, ones that existed before, during the war, and throughout this ceasefire, primarily Iran's nuclear program.
Uganda has closed off its border with the Democratic Republic of Congo as it works to slow the Ebola outbreak in the U.S. CDC now sending an urgent alert to recruit personnel who can monitor for Ebola symptoms at key airports. A judge has ruled the teen accused of killing his stepsister on board a cruise ship can remain out of jail on bond pending his trial. This is ABC News.
No, whenever it goes, I just forget.
Huddle up, wing lovers, and double your count for less on Wing Tuesday at Buffalo Wild Wings. When you buy one order of traditional wings, get one for 50% off. No time to dine? Order for delivery and wing it up with a crew at home. Or pick up takeout when you're on the go. Limit one per order, not valid with any other offers. Special terms and conditions apply. Huddle up for Wing Tuesday at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Hi, this is Rita Jensen with Remax Connection, and I want to tell you, I've lived in Florida for over 50 years. I'm a graduate of Tri-County. The first day the doors opened. If you're thinking about putting your children in the Tri-County, then give me a call. Out of that, Florida expert when it comes to real estate. So if you need a place to live, give me a call. Rita Jensen, Remax Connection. 1-720-4037, or go to my website, ritajensen.net.
At Orthodontics, we believe in family, tradition, and community. From kids to adults, Sanford offers state-of-the-art orthodontic care with complimentary so everyone in the family can smile with confidence. Sanford Orthodontics proudly supports Tri-County Academy and the Building on Tradition campaign, so a short drive to local businesses like Sanford helps in the journey to a beautiful smile at SanfordOrtho.com. Sanford Orthodontics, Hollywood Village, Jackson, and Gateway Drive in Brandon.
Hey guys, this is Casey Ellis from Ellis Autoplex, located on Highway 471 in Brandon. Ellis Autoplex, known as Little Truck City, is your old school mom and pop style dealership that's family owned and operated. We specialize in 4-wheel drive trucks, but don't worry, we have cars and SUVs too. Looking to sell your vehicle? Bring it by Ellis Autoplex, where we pay fair market value and we cut you a check on the spot. Need your vehicle serviced or repaired? We can handle that too. Shop us online or set an appointment at ellisautoplex.com. That's ellisautoplex.com.
Managing payroll, benefits, workers, and HR tasks can take valuable time away from running your business. That's where People Lease comes in. From payroll processing and tax filing to employee benefits and retirement plan administration, People Lease helps simplify your back office operations while improving employee satisfaction. Spend less time on paperwork and more time growing your business. Schedule your consultation today at peoplelease.com. That's peoplelease.com.
From Mississippi,
I put my hair wrong.
Faith, family, and freedom still matter.
Right here.
This is the Lindsey Beckham Show.
Welcome back into the Lindsey Beckham Show. We are live here in the WYAB studios. I'm joined by Scarlett Johnson and Ella Frei from Wisconsin, and we have been discussing Ella speaking out to her school board and her community, letting them know that she did not feel comfortable with boys in her bathrooms as a junior, a 16-year-old in her public school district. And she's really made a difference. There's now been an investigation, a Title IX investigation launched by the Department of Education and the White House into this issue, all because she had the courage and the bravery to speak out and let people know what was going on and that she did not feel safe, that she felt uncomfortable. These are supposed to be the safest, most private spaces for our girls, and yet they are being intruded. And as parents, our rights do not stop at the classroom door. We do not co-parent with the government. And I just have such respect for this young woman for speaking out. Ella, how did your mom feel when she first learned that there were boys in the girls' bathrooms?
Well, she was kind of a little off the charts. Because she wasn't informed by anyone really. So when I got home and she was like, Ella, is there boys using the girls' bathroom? I'm like, yeah, there was like this one boy. She's like, are you kidding? Like, and I've never known this. Has everyone known this? A bunch of parents are speaking out. I'm like, yeah, I guess. Like, I don't know. That kind of just happened recently, but like, we haven't been seeing it. So she was kind of scared and angry at the beginning. And then when it started, like, my videos started blowing up, that's when she was like, Ella, like, if you don't want to do this, you let me know right now, because I'll stop it here. I'll take your names off. And I'm like, no, let's keep going, because it doesn't stop here. It's going to keep spreading. It's going to be the sports, going to be locker rooms. It's going to be everything. I mean, I'm going to sectionals for long jump this Friday, but if I was in California, I would already be off the charts to some of these males in the sports. So I was like, let's keep going, Mom. And my mom's just been behind my back the whole time. She's watching. She just, I don't know, she helps me through everything. And with all the hate comments, it gets really stressful. And I don't know, it brings me down a little bit. But she's like, Ella, this is why you keep fighting. Like, so you can prove all these people wrong, show them what you got. And I don't know, my mom's, I look up to her a lot. And she helps me with everything going on.
I love that.
Think about what Ella. Oh, go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
was going to say, Heidi, you've done, if you can hear me, you've done a phenomenal job with your daughter. So impressed by her. Go ahead.
Heidi's amazing. She's a really great person, a strong example, and she's raised a great daughter. But what I was going to say is, think about AB Hernandez right now. All the controversy in California. This is a male playing in all female categories in track and field, and basically killing it, winning all of these medals, taking all of these opportunities away from girls. And now in California, in an admission, this is an admission that they know that this isn't fair and this isn't right. They're now having AB, this boy, share the platform, first place with the girl who really did win. And then the humiliation ritual that all the girls have to stand there and pretend like this isn't a man, this isn't a boy, this is a girl. It's shocking. I think it's a signal to all of the country. Do not think that something like this can't happen in your community. Ella is 100% right. If in the small rural conservative district in New Richmond, Wisconsin, if there are boys allowed to use the girls' bathrooms, I guarantee you that same boy would be allowed to participate in her sport, in track and field, and compete against her with all of the advantages that a biological male has.
So this is a conservative community where you live.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And this is still being allowed to happen.
Yes, it was.
It just, sometimes I feel like I've woken up in the twilight zone as to what's taking place here and how the world doesn't seem to understand that this is happening. Like you said, Scarlett, it's happening everywhere. And I just really applaud organizations like the Wisconsin Institute of Law and Liberty for standing up and saying, hey, we're going to fight back against this. I know we work a good bit with the Southeastern Legal Foundation, Alliance Defending Freedom, and all of these organizations that have said, hey, parents know their children, parents have a voice, and they should be able to decide, if their daughter is allowed to use the bathroom with a boy or not. And I would say that most parents would not go for that by any means.
No. And I'd also like to mention that there is a governor's race in 2026 this November, and Tom Tiffany, who is he's a Congress member of the 7th District, which is where New Richmond is. he has been such a strong supporter of Moms for Liberty and the parents, and particularly of Ella. He has sent her messages. He has reposted. He has said that if he is elected governor, that this will end. That he will do everything in his power to restore biological reality to Wisconsin. And our state statutes do not mention gender identity. So there's no reason why this policy should exist in Wisconsin. There really isn't.
Scarlett, I did a show last Friday on exactly what gender is, where it came from, where the term was coined, the experiments that were done with Dr. John Money and the John that became Jane. I mean, it failed. The experiments failed. As you know, and I say this all the time, there are two sexes, zero genders, infinite personalities. I think that's actually a billboard. Chris Elston, our friend, coined that term, but I use it all the time because it makes so much sense. Yes, there are two sexes, male or female, and gender is not even an actual thing. It doesn't exist.
No.
There's no such
No.
thing. So to give precedence to someone who claims their gender identity is something other than what their genitalia says there is, it's just asinine.
And to tell girls to suppress their natural intuition to protect themselves. There's a male in my private space. To tell them, to talk them through this and indoctrinate them into belief, to saying that it's okay that this man is in my space, he's a woman. To me, that's a level of brainwashing and indoctrination that you only see in Marxism, China. We're all friends with James Lindsey. He's talked about this a great deal, that this is a level of brainwashing, trying to indoctrinate these girls to suppress their instincts, to sacrifice their well-being, and put it on the altar of this woke ideology.
So 2 legislative sessions ago here in Mississippi, we had legislation that we coined. I worked on it with a couple of our legislators, coined the SAFER Act. And what it was to protect girls, their locker rooms, their bathrooms when it comes to our public schools and our public buildings. And so it made it to the last week of our legislative session, and we had been promised it was going to come out of conference. They were all going to agree to it. There's just a couple of little tweaks that needed to be worked out. They let it die after telling us just a few hours before the deadline that they would not let that happen. And I'll tell you what, our Republican women here in Mississippi, we rallied. We said, I don't think so. We don't want this next year. We want this right now because we see that this can become a real issue. And we want state legislation protecting our girls here in the state of Mississippi. So the particular legislator that this kind of fell on, now, I did something I've never ever done before and that I probably will never do again, but I gave his cell phone number out on the radio, and I had women all across the state of Mississippi texting him pictures of their daughters saying, why do you think my little girl should be using the same bathroom with a man, with someone with male genitalia? And do you not think my little girl matters? And I'll tell you what, they turned around real quick and we got that done several sessions ago because it needed to be done because of issues just like this. You can live in a conservative community and you can think that everything is in order, and then you have a child come home saying, hey, there's boys in my bathroom.
Yeah, Heidi would tell you that she was so shocked that she didn't pay attention to politics before all of this. She didn't pay attention closely. She believed that they lived in this, this very safe, small community, voted over 60% for Trump. She just assumed everything was fine at school, but upon learning this, a lot of things kind of clicked for her and a lot of other parents where they saw proficiency scores going down. And they've been complaining that their kids aren't getting the same quality of education that they did or that some of their older kids had. And when they start to look closer, as you know, Lindsay, as soon as a parent starts to scratch, get beyond the surface and start looking underneath the hood of K through 12 education, they're always horrified by what they see. And that's why Heidi and so many other parents in New Richmond are now they're engaged, they're involved. And this issue is important because it sends a signal. If this school board is willing to just, fight, they'll just keep fighting to keep boys in girls' bathrooms, then, and they don't have the common sense to deal with that issue, then how can they be trusted to educate our kids? And now you question a lot of other decisions.
Absolutely.
And now that there's another school board member, these parents want more. They want this policy gone, and they want a better education for their kids. They want to see improvements. They're tired of a lot of the nonsense. And why would these kids be so afraid to tell their parents that there's a boy in the bathroom? Why did it take months for it to come out? I think parents have to think about that. It's because the kids are so afraid of these teachers.
A target being put on their back, the pushback that they could receive when it comes to even like their grades. And, I'm guilty of it myself. The complacency is real. And as a parent, and I tell parents this all the time, don't take my word for it. Start digging, start looking, start seeing what's in your schools, because we've got to make sure, we've got to stay on top of this. It's just so very important when it comes to our children and their futures, and especially within the education system. I cannot thank you both enough. Ella, you're a rock star, total rock star, and you have my utmost admiration and respect. And I think the world of you. I need you to come over here, rub off on my girls so they want to get more involved. But you have really made a difference, and you are very impressive, very impressive. So
thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
And good luck. Good luck. You have a big thing coming up today, so good luck.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I know you will be incredible. So thank y'all both so much. Scarlett, thank you. Have a great time over at the White House today. You'll have to fill me in about that later. And I look forward to having you on again soon.
Yes. Thanks for having me. I'm so glad that we could talk about this, and I'm so proud of Ella. I can't say enough.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, y'all both have a great day, and I will talk to you guys soon. And we will be right back here to wrap things up here on the Lindsey Beckham Show on this Wednesday afternoon.
WYAB.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
This is Jack Hoffman. For nearly 31 years, Tico's Steakhouse has been a staple of fine dining in Jackson, Mississippi. Dad has long since desired for me to come work alongside him. And now that I'm here, I would like to invite you to come experience our family tradition of our hospitality, sizzling steaks, and healthy poured beverages. Our dining rooms are open and we are taking reservations. Our private rooms are also available along with takeout. Call today or stop in and experience Tico's in the second generation.
Tico's Steakhouse, East County Line Road in Ridgeland, 601-956-1030.
Greetings. I'm Dr. Benny Tate, president of the Congregational Methodist Church denomination in Florence, Mississippi, and the pastor of Rock Springs Church in Milner, Georgia, inviting you to attend one of our services this week. Find a church near you at cm-church.org and be sure and listen for our weekly program, Apples of Gold from Rock Springs Church, here on 103.9 WYAB.
Listen to Apples of Gold every Sunday morning at 10. You can show your pride and patriotism in honor of the 250th birthday of this great nation by proudly flying a flag. And a complete flag source on I-55 in Jackson is the place to find it. All sizes for all purposes. And they have the official 250-year celebration flag. Have a look at CompleteFlags.com. That's CompleteFlags.com.
Need to ship something fast, print something now, or wrap the perfect gift? Head to the Mailroom Gluckstadt, your one-stop shop for all major shipping carriers. We pack and ship with care, offer private mailbox rentals, copy services, create and print banners, print your photos, lamination, binding, and secure document shredding. We always have a notary available, and we do gift wrapping too. Head to the Mailroom Gluckstadt across from Callaway's or online at mailroomgluckstadt.com. Stop in today and get it all done in one place.
Britain's Jewelers. When love requires a gift, nothing says it better than All Britain's. Since 1920, we've been part of your family. From weddings and anniversaries to holidays, we've been there for every special occasion. At All Britain's, we value your trust. Every gift, whether large or small, is a reflection of our commitment to quality and excellence. There's a reason we're still Mississippi's foremost diamond merchant. Let us show you why. All Britain's Jewelry, 4460 Old Canton Road in Jackson. All Britain's Jewelers.
Welcome back into the WYAB studios. We've got just a minute or two left here of the Lindsey Beckham Show on this Wednesday afternoon. I will be in tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. to fill in for the Mike Madison Show, as well as my regularly scheduled program at 12. Again, just want to thank Ella Frei for having the courage and the bravery to speak out within her community and to make a change that goes all the way to the White House, looking into the situation that's happening over in her school district. And it takes a lot of bravery, especially as a 16-year-old, and courage to stand up and speak out about something you disagree with that your school board, these adults, have put into place. So I think the world of her. I'm incredibly proud of her. And thank you to Scarlett Johnson and all of our Wisconsin Moms for Liberty members who have helped work with Ella and get this situation looked into, this investigation launched. So we appreciate that so much, as well as the Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty, who have taken this on as well, because we've got to protect our girls. We have got to protect their futures, their scholarships, their athletics. There's so much that goes into this, but most importantly, their safe places and their privacy and their dignity, because that's of the utmost importance. Again, I'll be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. and 12 p.m., and I will see you guys then. Have a great day. Bye.